looks pretty neat. Got a couple little pucker marks here and there, but I mean, with this being contoured, kind of is what it is. I could also take it back off and pull it just a little tighter, put another staple in it, but that might be a later on down the road project. Once the foam kind of wears in and wears down, we might have to go back and tighten the fabric up a little bit. So food for thought, don't waste your money on an electric staple gun, because obviously you've seen the old manual one didn't fail me one time. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and make me a seat real quick for the old rat rod go-kart. I went ahead and made a couple templates out of cardboard off camera. I think they're gonna work out all right. So I got a piece of scrap plywood here left over from my workbench builds. So I'm gonna use that as my seat bottom, and picked up some foam from local Walmart and picked up some material. Let's get busy. So I'm gonna take these and trace my patterns out. Get the old jigsaw and get jiggy with it. I got a cut. I scored a bunch of lines on the back just to make it more flexible. I'll actually just use my grinder and buff these edges. The right tool is the tool that you got in your hand. You go to a store and you can buy different stuff and whatever, but the whole purpose of a rat rod is to use what you had to make what you wanted. Luckily, I've got two pre-existing holes already in the wheelbarrow, and I'll probably just utilize those. Drill a couple holes and we'll get some upholstery on this thing. Say 2 inches at the top edge. I have the old automatic ratchet, or an assault ratchet, whatever you like to call it. Center it up, drill me 2 holes. Get some upholstery on this thing. So I put down some masking paper. You can pick this stuff up at any big box store. It's just spray adhesive. There's 10 different kinds of brands, whatever. I picked up some foam cushions. They're 1 inch thick. I think it was like $9. I'm sure this stuff is not amazing and probably won't hold up very well. So I think I'm gonna double it, make it 2 inches thick, just to give you a little more cushion. So trace out these shapes, glue them together, glue it down to here, and then we'll unveil our awesome fabric. Well, not quite big enough. That's okay.
That's what she said?
All right, we got our foam cut. Time to glue it. Stay. Put me a big heavy coat on here. Never fails. You always get it off just a little bit. This one I had to cut these 2 little pieces because even if I went diagonal, it still wasn't quite big enough.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Now this one, I'm gonna flip it the other way, just so I don't have 2 overlapping deals there with the short pieces. Now, you gotta say it.
You're going nowhere.
Another piece of paper. Don't want a bunch of glue on our new material. Well, it's time for our fabric. You may or may not know, I'm very patriotic. I love my country. I love what it stands for. And also, I think it's quite fitting for the colors that we got going on this thing. You know what we had to do? One with the old American flag. It's got a kind of a distressed stain look. It's gonna be perfect. So let's get these things fitted up. The question is, do we do it straight up to where everything's at an angle, or do we put it at an angle so it actually has the flag look? Probably something like this will be sufficient. Thinking like that. We'll pull this thing up, start putting some staples in it, and we'll come back and trim it to fit. I literally just bought this thing, put some indoor-outdoor carpet down, and I wasn't gonna sit there and try to manually staple for like 6 hours. So I went and bought this thing. I'm not worried about getting it super tight. Got a little double fire there. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't like this thing. That thing jammed up, so I had to clear it out real quick, but I do remember cussing this thing whenever I did that indoor-outdoor carpet. Maybe because of that. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's why. So I'm pull her tight, as even as I can. Yep, that's exactly why. Garbage. Don't recommend. This thing was not cheap. I think this thing was like 60 or 80 bucks. Awful. I'd rather fist fight like a grizzly bear. Alright, we got one. So let's see what it looks like. So the biggest thing is try to keep it even so your lines match up. You can see here it's kind of got like a draw down. So let me pull this way just a little. Yeah, like it uses a staple and kicks out a staple. I don't even understand. You're in the business of selling electric staple guns. They should be like remotely decent at it, right? You'd think. So when you get to a corner, it's kind of like, how do you want to do it? What I'm going to do is fold in and make me like a little pleat. I'll pull it up there, put a staple in it. Pull our excess as we go. Yep, junk.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Yep, tired of messing with it. Get the old carpal tunnel $15 one here. See how that goes. Amazing. Get rid of the bulk of this stuff. Very cool. So I think with this one on the front edge, I'm going to pull all this material square here, and then I'll fold this back and put my crease right on the corner, and it'll just give me a little crease right there. There we go. Pretty cool. I like it. A little tricky, holding the carriage bolts, 2 washers and a nut. It's alright, we'll get it. Really like it. I'm sure someone in the comments has probably got a way better way of doing this and tell me what I did wrong, but that's okay. This is what I'm doing. Works for me, as long as I'm happy. That's all that matters. What do you guys think? Look pretty cool? Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. A little quick upholstery job on the old rat rod T-bucket. Stay tuned next week. We're getting back on the Vega project. I've done a lot of stuff off camera, a lot more tubes. I know it gets old. You're watching the same old stuff over and over again. We're really close to getting onto the sheet metal side of things. We'll get the firewall sealed off, start doing floor panels. We'll do the wheel tubs and all that. So we'll see you guys next week.